Hello and welcome to this episode of the Winter Moon Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
I'm John Bushfacts Bushman.
Yes, that is John Bushfacts Bushman. He is joining us here on the Winter Moon Podcast as one of our rotating hosts. We are really glad and excited that John has opted to come and be part of this project. John, thanks so much for being here. You and I work together a lot with behind the scenes of the streams that Winter Moon does at major events. And you were the developer of some of our software that we use to make those streams happen. And so I'm really grateful that you're able to come and be a guest and host of the show. Super thrilled that that's happening. We had a huge Legion news drop today. And by huge, I mean really huge. It was basically an emergency points update. And so we are recording the day of the points update. And we're going to go through all of that. We're going to talk about all the points changes, what it might mean for list building. I know our listeners are really eager to hear our thoughts, and we're going to just dive right in. So, Brian, if you have like, we can start with just the errata reference and the points changes for Rebels, because I know you're like Mr. Rebel. So,
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting to hear your perspective on some of the changes that are happening to the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, so I just have the points adjustments pulled up here. We'll go. They're listed in alphabetical order. So Ahsoka Tano is down 30 points from 145 to 115. ATRTs are up 4 points from 50 to 54. Reasonable change. We were seeing ATRTs like crazy. The laser cannon is up 5 points from 10 to 15, also reasonable. So a total of 9-point increase for the laser RTs, which was needed. Then we got a point drop for the rotary ATRT, the rotary blaster. So it's down 5 from 20 to 15. So maybe we'll see a few more of those. No change to the flamer RT. Mandalorian resistance went down 6. Good stuff. The Rebel vets had quite a few changes. So we had the CMO on the vets went down 4 points. The Mega Rebel Vet Squad went down 13 points, and which is, if you want to run big vets, then you're saving yourself 17 points there. And then we've got the sleeper cell went up 7 points for their base, and then 5 points for their astromech. So a total of 12 points. Also needed if you're going to be able to get aims with a move, dodges with a move, and be able to shoot 12 dice. It's okay that you're going to be 87 points. That's all right. So for those Rebel fans out here that are really, really sad about it, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We got Sabine also dropped 20 points. For those of you who love running Ahsoka Sabine, your list got 25 points cheaper because the Darksaber also went down 10 points. Or I guess, no, got 60 points cheaper.
60?
60 points cheaper. Jeez.
That's an ATRT.
Yeah, that's a whole nother activation.
No, that we'll get to it in a little bit, but with some of the new upgrades, that's going to be a potent companionship there, Ahsoka and Sabine. It's going to be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
I'm excited if that's viable again.
It should be with a
John.
60-point decrease. Yeah,
it's going to be viable.
Well, especially also with Mandalorian resistance dropping, I suppose. Well, actually, that's not Clan Ren. I guess that's just the generic Mandalorians.
Which I like better anyway.
Yeah, I like the Beskad duelist as well.
What?
I know, John. Everyone disagrees with me. It's okay. I could be wrong, but so can you.
No. I can't be wrong. That doesn't make sense.
Just to continue naming off the errata, before we dive into deep discussion. So Empire got a huge set of buffs. Death Troopers went down 6, which is really important. They certainly needed the help. Shore Troopers got a lot of help. The base squad is down 6 to 46, more than reasonable in my opinion. The T-21B went down 4 points to, I believe, its older price of 28. And then the Shore Trooper Squad upgrade down 18 points to 52, which is a severe drop, and definitely warranted. Riots also got some much needed help. The original base price was 50, it's now 44, so down 6 points. And KX series security droids, who were 30 points, are now 18. They received a drop of 12, so an 18-point discount for Riots with KXs. And then the Stormtrooper squad, the base Stormtrooper squad went down 6 points to 40. So just an overall slate of buffs in terms of points for Galactic Empire. And as we'll find out later in the episode, they combine really well with some of the new upgrades. So let's do Galactic Republic. John, if you'd like to read that off, that'd be really great.
Yeah. So we got ARC Troopers kind of balanced out a little bit, increased by 6 points to 70, while Echo went down 6 points from 52 to 46. He's still insanely expensive, so we'll take all the decreases we can. ATRTs, equalizing the weapons again. So the laser cannon went up 5, just like Rebel, and rotary went down 5. They are now both 15. No change to the base unit. Bark Speeder got decreases across the board. So 6 points on the base decrease, 4 points on Ion, 4 points on RPS, 3 points on Twin Laser. So 9 to 10 point decrease for any Bark you're taking with a gunner. Commander Cody dropped 10 points. The Lat dropped 10 points. Padme dropped 8 points. Rex did not drop any points. What the heck? But Yoda, my man, dropped 20 points. That's happening.
That's a huge buff to Yoda
That
for sure.
is happening. I'm doing it.
I am excited that Yoda has dropped that much because I want to see him on the table more.
He's 150
a little bit.
now.
It does weird me out a little bit that Yoda is 150. Like this is Yoda that we're talking about. How is he only 150 points? I feel like there's some card changes that he could use if he's the most powerful Jedi out there. I don't know if 150 is just representative of Yoda, actually.
Right.
Well, yeah, it changes what I would call his weight class. Like a lot of times, I would say like if you're spending like 200 plus on a Force user, it's like a heavyweight, right? But Yoda, you could easily spend less than 180 on him right now with the new points change, and he's certainly like he just brings a lot to the table. Like just Luminous alone with the surge sharing is huge.
Luminous with the commandos, with triple commandos, is insane.
Yeah.
3 free aims that are being shared in addition to the 6 tokens that he's already sharing.
Yeah.
Right, and he's probably got barrier.
Yeah.
Barrier on defense, Katarn, and all that good stuff that commandos bring. And so yeah, there's definitely like Yoda deserves a look because there's some stuff in there that's much more efficient than it used to be. Did we say that Padme went down to 52?
I may have skipped it or not. She dropped 8 points. Yeah, to 52.
Yeah, to 52. Yeah, so I saw some speculation that people are going to start taking Padme more seriously now. Secret Mission is now like a cheap enough alternate win condition that some folks may be picking that up again.
Is that like all she does though? Because she doesn't share tokens anymore.
No, she doesn't share tokens.
She inspires.
Yeah, inspire is important for clones because suppression needs to be managed. Oh,
it's less important for clones though, right? Because they're all courage too.
So there, I think there's a couple ways to look at it. The one way that I look at it in a couple ways, right? So if I'm paying a lot for courage 2, I want to protect that investment. And so there's a lot of units out there that could easily put 2 suppression on me that I lose in action. And I mean, it's maybe not so relevant with clones because they have the token sharing, but I just feel like Inspire can be crucial because I think there are armies out there that can lock you down with suppression.
Yeah. We don't see a whole lot of them, but
That's
there are
fair.
they're there.
Right.
Right. I also noticed that this is going back to the Empire thing. I noticed that range troopers did not get a decrease, so that's a little sad.
No Tauntaun decrease either.
Yeah, no Tauntaun decrease either. So they don't want to see that. Apparently, there's something in the upgrades maybe that prevented them from
Maybe.
going forward with that.
Maybe.
The LAT patrol transport also went down 10. So I don't know if that's enough of a decrease for me to consider it again, but it's starting to look better. All right, moving on now to Separatist Alliance. We got some points decreases and one notable points increase in Droidicas, who are now going up to 67. So a triple Droidica list will be taking a penalty of 21 points. Asajj Ventress dropping 15 to 115. So she didn't need it, but I'm grateful for such a points drop because I play Asajj on the regular. Poggle and Sun Fac also got reduced by 25. So they are both now 55 points, which is insanely cheap. And then Stap Riders also got a buff being reduced by 10 points. So a lot of those unseen CIS units getting some play, maybe, and unfortunately, no nerf to Aquas. That was something that was definitely.
A lot of the unseen quotations, unseen CIS units.
Yes, unseen, quote unquote.
There is some serious Sun Facolite prayers that went into this update.
Yeah, they spirit bombed it and they got their points drop. All the Sun Fac worshippers on an Indy.
What are we surprised to see and surprised that isn't on there? I had a thought and it's already escaping me.
I am surprised Aquas are not on there.
Yeah, me
Aquas.
too. I would have assumed that Aquas would have gotten a points bump.
Wild. Tauntauns
I
we
mean,
already mentioned.
I have yeah, I would like to see Tauntauns drop a bit for sure, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. I feel like Aquas are strong. I don't feel like they are broken because they're a unit that if you focus them, they do die.
They
And
do.
so
It's the time that they buy for the rest of the army
yeah,
because they
You know, they
do.
don't degrade terribly fast either because you have to do 3 wounds for the unit to degrade.
Yeah.
I know that I was
yeah,
struggling once I was struggling this weekend at Indy against Aqua Droids once my tank died. I just couldn't burn. I didn't have any way to reliably burn through them. It was like, okay, I'm going to shoot you with a Deca and hope that I get enough hits past armor 2.
Bad Batch
yeah.
didn't go up either. That was the other one I was thinking.
Yeah, Bad
Like
Batch
that's
didn't go up.
surprising.
I think Bad Batch is okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing it, so I'm okay with it not going up. But I've heard a lot of
Yeah,
complaints against it. Is all.
I don't know. I think Bad Batch is all right.
I think Bad Batch is not like Bad Batch is fine. It's strong, but it doesn't deserve like a points pass. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
but it's like it's on personally for me. It's on my radar because we do what we do is insane. Like it's just a really strong card.
It's really strong. But
Yeah,
at the same time, though, to me, the best lists that I've faced for Gar, they don't have Bad Batch.
I don't take We Do What We Do with my Bad Batch.
hmm.
Because it's only ordering them, and they're never my only key piece. And it helps. It is an extra aim or two. It is an extra 4 total inches of movement. But like they're already phenomenal without it. Like they're already gonna get probably their 10 hits without it. Um, you also get suppressive, I guess, but it's overkill.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see it being overkill. I think if you're like looking for that really reliable end of round 1 like alpha,
I don't. I think round one is an extremely tough time to play it because
yeah,
of how forecasted it is and how like the best thing you're going to get out of it against a good player is they're going to be more guarded, and they're not going to
Yeah.
be as brazen moving up.
It's just really tough to avoid a Scout 2 chaining speed 3s.
Yeah.
It's really hard to avoid that.
Yeah.
I think if you play it round 1 and you get nothing out of it, and your opponent just hides the whole time, I think that's just as much as a win as a big shot, because
Yeah.
that sets up your round 2 so much better for you than it does for your opponent, and round 2 is pretty crucial.
Yeah. Round 2 is money.
I always feel bad when I've sacrificed ground like that, like you're saying, Brian. Like it's like, yeah, I kind of didn't want to lose points just for free, but at the same time, I've given up position, and so I've been
That's
put in this dilemma.
that's what my Indie Open list did every single time. Is it forced hesitation,
Mm.
and we can go into that later.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Okay, because I don't know what your list, or I don't remember what your list was. So
yeah, we're
Ah.
gonna get to that.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last little thing we want to talk about with points specifically is mercenaries. So we got some points drops for Mandalorian Super Commandos, a modest drop by 4 points. That'll make running quad Mandos easier for sure. Pike Syndicate got a 4-point drop as well, 2 on the Foot Soldiers and 2 on the Disruptor, which puts the Disruptor Foot Soldier combination down to 73, which I think is a really good number there. And then the Maul, a rival, the Darksaber, is now free, which is a nice little boost for Maul.
Mm-hmm. I like the dark saber. I mean, I like Maul a lot. I've always liked him with the dark saber. I've never run Maul in Shadow Collective without it. I know that there's people out there that like Maul without it. I've always I think that cunning is great.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
just really
pretty.
liked it.
I think it's pretty essential to his game plan.
Yeah.
The idea that I could cunning duel of the fates on somebody and just wallop them before they can use any of their tokens.
Yep.
I think that's kind of essential. He's one of those characters that sort of he's got that duelist mentality, kind of like Asajj. Asajj is like, in my opinion, the queen duelist in the game right now because of how cheap she is and how like crazy her anti-force user tech is.
So cheap. Why
Yeah,
is she
so cheap.
115?
So good.
Yeah, now she's 115 base, which is wild.
So nuts, man.
Yeah.
Oh, deep breaths.
Yeah, deep breaths. let me just walk over there and one tap your Yoda.
Hey, you
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
away from my
yeah.
Yoda, all right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't do anything to you.
Your Yoda dropped 20 points to die to 150 point massage.
Massage. Yeah, that's right. Oh man,
I don't
I
like
love
it.
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm excited. I'm
yeah.
excited for Pikes though. I think Pikes they're going to combine well with one of these new upgrades that we're going to discuss now. I guess we can go in backwards order from like the bottom of the document.
Sure.
Spotter uplink. It's a new comms upgrade. If you're not engaged, things that are shooting targets near that unit that has the spotter uplink will gain sharpshooter 1 against it.
So it's kind of
So-
like pointing out the unit from
Yeah.
very up close.
Exactly. It's like,
It's like,
hey, you
hey.
shoot this guy.
Yeah.
So you can shut it down, because the unit that has it has to be unengaged.
hmm
So that's totally fine. But there's also some units that can't be shut down, basically.
Any ATRT.
Well, let's see.
Is
It
it
says
engaged
not
or
in
melee?
melee, actually.
Yeah, it says not in
Yeah,
melee.
Okay.
So the only one
but
that's perfect for it are like air speeders, anything that's immune melee, air speeders
yeah,
and lance.
anything that doesn't have a melee weapon can't be in melee, I don't think.
No, that's not true.
Oh, really?
You can base you so like an AA5 doesn't
They
have
can't
a melee
start
skill
melee.
file.
They
It
can't start.
cannot
Okay,
start a
start
melee, but
melee.
other units can get into base with it.
Gotcha.
These are
Okay,
specifically immune to melee and range
that was my
1.
confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like air speeders are immune melee.
hmm
Exactly. Air
Lats are
speeders
immune
and
melee.
lats are both immune melee.
Yeah. A sharpshooter is a really big help though for a lot of units. I know that there's cover can be really frustrating, especially if you have a big dice pool and then suddenly your opponent's cover spikes and you lose value.
I think that could be good in the scrum when they're getting cover against from the POI and you're shooting into it.
Yeah. I'm gonna check the Discord real quick to see if it was answered, but there's a floating question right now about whether spotter uplinks stack.
It gains sharp 1.
Yeah, and it's a numerical keyword. So if you have multiple,
Yeah.
if you have multiple, then the effect would stack.
As written, it would absolutely stack.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think it does stack. I don't know if it was intentional, but it does. So if you have like a fleet of swoops or speeder bikes that are all zooming around and get the same unit in range, suddenly it's sharp 2. And if you've got a big dice pool at range, say like an ATST, I'm thinking Blizzard Force, right? Your Blizzard ATST suddenly has blast at range 4 or whatever,
Yeah.
because you have these speeder bikes zooming around
I
with
think,
spotter uplinks.
yeah, so you'll want to, for the units that you want to use spotter uplinks on, are going to be units that can get close without getting in melee, which basically means things that can get on buildings that are a little bit more challenging to melee. So, like a Mandalorian squad, really good option for this.
Yeah.
Speeder bikes, probably good options because they can hop onto buildings and try to stay out of melee, but still in range 1. Speeder bikes are a little bit more finicky because at range 1 you're putting yourself in danger zone.
Mm-hmm.
Swoops are, I think, probably the most comfortable being that close because they're actually going to do damage down there. But at the same time, I do think that there's going to be some skill cap to this upgrade. I think there's a reason why it's 3 points and not 10, because it's not everyone's going to be able to get a huge amount of use out of it. But the people that can, I think it's going to be very effective.
Do you think it'd be worth it to put it on like strike teams? And
No,
No, because you have to get close to
because
you
they'll
have to get
die.
close to the
Well, I
enemy.
mean, if you're
Yeah.
like LOS blocking 1 mini, so that it takes 2 hits to kill or 1 hit.
Oh, you mean like with a saboteur team or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe. I think it's just
Maybe.
too. Range 1 is so close
It
that
is.
they're just going to melee you if they can.
Yeah.
So you usually want something on top of a building to discourage that.
Yeah. Well, BX strikes got jump, but
That's true.
I don't.
Yes,
Hey,
I think BXs with Viper swords up in there can be very good carrier for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? We got like 8 more of these.
You got like a ton of upgrades to go through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So door gunners. This is really exciting. Let's talk about door gunners. So units with transport are going to equip the card even if they don't have a crew upgrade slot. So you can anything that has transport, even if they don't have a crew upgrade, can use it. So like the snail could use this as well. Um, the Gav could use it, etc. After this unit makes an attack action during its activation, if it did not add this weapon to an attack pool during that attack action, it may make a free attack action using only this weapon, even though it has already made an attack action this turn. So it is a free attack. It is a range 1 to 2 mounted blaster, and it is 2 white, 2 black, fixed side. So either side of the transport could blast with a door gunner. And the dice pool strikes me as a little small, but it is free, and it's an extra suppression if it does hit.
Free attack. It's still 12 points, just to
Right, it's a free
clarify.
attack.
It is 12 points. Yeah.
12 points for
So
4 dice doesn't feel bad. The sides, fixed sides, feels weird.
I think they priced it appropriately because you're not going to automatically put on every transport, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there are some transports that will benefit from this more than others because of the surge. Because surge to hit are the transports that you want to put this on. I personally don't, not super excited about this on an AA5 because there's no surge on the AA5. I'm not super excited about it for a lat either because they don't surge to hit on attack. But
Right.
for a Gav tank, it's a decent option. Gav tanks aren't fantastic, but for a snail, this is going to be hot on snails.
Yeah, snails with a surge to hit,
Yeah,
especially
snails
your
needed the
standard
buff,
snail.
right?
Right, because they really needed a buff. I mean, I like it. I run snails,
Hell,
12 points is
they're
still expensive
they're
though. It could
terrifying.
be a shell, you know what I mean?
Good. I think CIS got out with murder in this
Oh
update.
yeah. I kind of
Absolutely.
agree with you on that. CIS did get away with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ion, here I come.
Yeah, we're
I,
gonna be in an ion meta, ion flame meta for sure.
I'm excited to drink the tears of all the CIS players that think that they're going to destroy me.
You got some hot combos coming in with you were playing Lando this weekend, right? So you got some hot combinations.
Yeah,
Lando
it's good.
Han and fleets and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's keep going because there's a lot. Extra supplies at the end of this unit's activation. You may expend this card. If you do, ready one of this unit's non-force upgrades. So this is kind of interesting. It's like if you have an extra gear slot, you can expend it to ready
Double tap
an
a
upgrade
HQ uplink or offensive push or what else are you?
Or a whipcord on Sabine.
or a whipcord on
Whipcord
Sabine.
on Sabine. Right. This is the
Yep.
Mando and droid upgrade or update. All of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
There's lots of Mando stuff, so it's a good point.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
whipcord on
Whipcord.
Sabine's going to be hot.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Almost makes it worth the fact that it's an action.
Could a
100%.
snowtrooper ready a heavy weapon with this?
Snowtroopers don't
Or
have any
no,
passive weapons right
they
now.
don't have anything. Yeah, so I forgot they took exhaust off the ion. I'm still
Yeah,
in
yeah.
old Legion land when it
Yeah.
comes to
I know.
Empire.
It's hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah, it's really hard. But yeah, like O push for sure. I don't know if it's worth it on clone commandos because you're probably going to recover anyway.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? Yeah,
The
Yeah.
config,
they don't recover for the or for that. Yeah,
they do have to recover the
yeah.
configuration to use it.
Yeah, I'm not
Their
sure.
recover also gets them a shield,
Yeah, its recover is just too strong on clone commandos.
and if
I
they
would
have
agree.
HQ
I think you're.
uplink,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people have the gist of that card. I'm gonna go one more entry up on the document to dug in. This is kind of exciting. It's a training slot, but you can equip this training even if you don't have a training slot on your unit card. And it says it's for emplacement troopers or trooper units with prepared positions only. And it says while this unit is in allied territory and does not have a face down order token, it rolls red defense dice instead of white defense dice when rolling its cover pool. That's kind of disgusting when you think about emplacements
or
that are
troopers
range
with
4.
prepared positions, like
Yeah,
Anakin Skywalker.
true. As long as he's in allied territory and doesn't have a face down, he'll roll red
Which
cover.
round one? He will be.
Yeah,
He's got 2 training slots. That's a pretty valid option to keep him safe round 1.
true.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I look at that and I think, goodness gracious, a giant shore squad just dropped a whole bunch of points. That's now I can't shoot at it.
Now Empire wants to take this card and play Breakthrough because the home point in Breakthrough is inside allied territory.
Yeah.
So anything defending your allied territory is with dug in is going to roll red cover now, as long as
Oh
it has a face up.
dear.
Yeah, that's nasty.
The face up is tough.
Yeah, that could be tough getting the face up.
Yeah. I almost like it almost feels good for FD cannons, but how often
Yeah.
are they
No.
going to have? I guess if they're HQ uplinking themselves,
HQ'd. You get couple FDs with HQs, and you're sitting. Those guys are gonna have a hard time dying.
expensive, but
It is. But then what you do, John, is you have a couple of air speeders with the spotter uplink flying through their army, and now you have SDs with sharp 1 or sharp 2.
shooting
Yeah,
range 5.
and they're rolling red. They're rolling red defense dice on cover.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. Like FDs with sharpshooter makes me cringe. It's just like, but in a good way, you know. It's like the good kind of cringe where it's like, oh man, that's gross, but it's awesome because it's gross.
Yeah.
Um, it's that kind of thing.
But also at the same time, though, guys, you know what gets buffed with this as well?
What's that?
Anything with blast. So Mando rockets don't
Okay.
give a crap about your cover saves
Right.
because it's blast, and so you don't get that. So Mando rockets are looking good round one still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not bad. Maybe we'll see a little bit more Boba play with his sharp 2.
Comms
And his
jammer is kind of good against this as well.
comms jammer's good.
Yeah.
Cards like pin
Yeah.
down or stuff like that to shoot a face up off if you need to kill something down there.
Do clone marksmen have prepared position? That's kind of cool.
I think so.
I think they do, yeah. Because that's a thing, right? Like clone marks. So I'm just thinking
They do,
about
yeah.
clone marksman crit manufacturing lists with like Yoda, where you can just manufacture a bunch of crits at range 4 with long shot, and then if they try to shoot you back, you have red cover. Sounds gross.
Yeah.
And they're putting crits through at range 4 because they have marksmen. So for every aim they spend,
Right.
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. That's some future theory crafting.
Someone mentioned putting this on reckless diversion units.
Yeah, I did mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put Doug in on a reckless diversion target. Yeah, you're welcome, Brian.
It's just mean. If that card needed any more buffs, any more
Yeah.
annoying ways to
No.
use.
So now pin. Did we mention pin down already?
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it. Yeah, pin down. Yeah, so pin
So
down's going to neutralize it.
quick question here. So it says while this unit is in Allied territory and does
Yeah.
not have so if I double move a super slinger squad and cohere one slinger into area terrain way forward and one way backwards.
They don't have.
They're in Allied.
They're not
They're in Allied
emplacements,
territory.
and they're not prepared positions.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
they're not in placements.
Yeah,
makes
Yeah.
calm
sense.
down, Brian.
So
Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but
So-
still, so you say you have a heavy vet, right? And
yeah.
you can cohere one vet guy forward and keep one way back in your allied territory.
I do
Does
like how
this
we
work?
recently changed our range words, and none of the 3 range words are used here to describe this range that is happening.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not within, completely within, or whatever we're using now.
Yeah. It's just in.
While it's in. So which one is it?
Which one is it? Yeah.
Knowing which one would answer Brian here, but
Absolutely.
We'll and I might have conveyed a misconception here. This does not require a face up. It just
it just says you don't have to have a face down.
You can't have a face down.
Yeah, that's right.
So
All right. Dang.
So as long as you're chilling in friendly in allied territory, you're just
So the FDs don't need HQ.
Yeah,
No, they don't. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have flat red cover all game with this upgrade.
Well,
pretty strong.
People are going to feel what Normandy felt like.
Yeah. Well, it is June after all.
Jeez.
That was good.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna move on to Imperial March. This one's really cool. We're gonna circle back to the new force powers, but they're not as exciting as I think they could have been. But
agreed.
That's just my opinion, man. Imperial March, Imperial Core only. You may equip this training even if you don't have a training slot on your unit card. When this unit makes a second move action during its activation, it increases its speed by 1 during that move action. Additionally, when this unit makes a move action during its activation, you may expend this card. If you do, this unit gains charge until the end of its activation. Ridiculous on riots.
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely built
riots
for them.
Yeah.
Riots
with
built for
Ruthless.
riots, but at the same time, like riots already have charge, right? And so
True, but they get the speed 3 move
14-inch
though.
charge range now.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's solid. I like it a lot. I like it on snows with flamers in Blizzard Force. You play that spur card. these
God.
these snows are gonna fly.
Yeah, debark for ground assault is gonna go. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. 14-inch steady flamethrower shot 12 inches farther. It's a range
Yep.
4, or
Yep.
not 12 inches, 6 inches farther.
Yeah,
It's
because of debark. So
still a 20-inch flamethrower.
Now
yeah,
flamethrowers still aren't. They're not great. They're not what they used to be, right? But
yeah,
if you're against a super squad, it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel good.
yeah. And super squads got cheaper. They're starting to gain popularity. So there's definitely some play there if you're looking into snows.
Yeah.
Flame snows. I'll admit, I played against flame snows. I played a blizzard at Indy, and I was unimpressed because the flame snows used to have the backing of a grenade to
Mm-hmm.
make them really potent, and now it's sort of like my six body B1s are like surviving flamer shots, and I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. Like I
Yeah.
shouldn't reasonably expect a 6 wound unit to survive a flamer shot.
How did the combo change? Fill me in here.
So
You
so
can only throw one grenade, John.
yeah, it used to be that you could
Okay,
throw
so
an impact from every soldier.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you used to, the pool used to be however many, so like 5 reds and then however many blacks of the unit that you're attacking in the
Right.
minis,
Okay.
right?
So it's
And
the
hmm
flamethrower itself is the same. The grenade thrower is the same. That's 2 of the bodies. The other 3, their dice
yeah,
are a little
right.
you
softer.
The other
you
three
don't
are
even
white.
waste you
Yeah,
don't even waste time with a grenade these days unless it's a sonic imploder, in my opinion.
You don't want the surge crit grenade. Oh, they already have
They,
surge
they
hit.
already they
Yeah.
already surge
yeah,
hit, and
exactly.
it's so they already surge hit, and the flamethrower makes it so that you ignore cover anyway.
Right.
So the 5-point grenade isn't worth it unless you're taking the sonic imploder to add another suppression, which is, I think it's a decent option, but still
Yeah.
it's still one extra black die instead of a white. So the pool's not feeling as good as it was, but I mean against the super slinger squad of Ewoks or you know uh, uh, fleet super squad, it's gonna do damage, and you're gonna be happy about it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do much to red save super squads.
No. No. Okay.
Yeah, it was always flamer on white, shoot on red. That was always my motto. But
The other flamers like are still untouched, right? The ATRT and the dewback flamer are still
yeah, they're
just as
both the
potent.
same.
Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The double dice per mini is gonna that feels good.
Cool.
100%. The single black per mini doesn't feel so good.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Also, going back to Gar, so we did notice that Gar lost that their base ATRT did drop.
Mm,
And so
did it? It's not on the
didn't it?
sheet.
Oh no, it didn't. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
that I
it's not
saw
on
that
the
it.
sheet.
I
Rebel
thought that I was
Rebel
reading it
ATRT increased.
increased to 54. I thought the other one dropped to 54. Maybe I'm wrong.
Did they say it in
Republic
words but not on the
RT
chart?
says unchanged.
Okay, then ignore me.
I think they
Yeah,
copy
Republic RT
pasted.
didn't drop.
They wrote it in the text for Galactic
Yeah, because I
Republic
read it.
that it increased by 4 to 54, but it was already 60.
Uh,
So
okay, okay.
so
Gotcha.
that's just
I thought
copy
I
paste.
read that and thought they had decreased the ATRT for the Republic, and I was like, "Holy crap!" That's
Yeah, I mean it's not in their chart, so I think it's safe to assume it is not.
yeah.
List builders did not interpret it that way either. Okay.
Next, we've got mission objective. This is for trooper units only. It's a training slot for 6 points. Once per round, when this unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that is holding or contesting one or more objective tokens, this unit may reroll 1 attack die during the reroll dice step. Just to clarify, anything that's contesting a POI is contesting an objective token.
Mm.
So it is good against anything that is stepping on a POI or holding an objective like surface scan or recon mission. I think for a lot of units at 6 points, this is a worthwhile upgrade.
Yeah.
Specifically clone commandos.
Oh.
Because if you're turtling up and you have the ability to reroll 1 red for this upgrade plus spend your aim for lethal, I think you go ahead and just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're moving for tactical.
Commandos don't have tactical.
Sorry, yeah, you don't have the ability
Gotcha.
to move and get aims. Yeah, you're not an ARC trooper. So this lets you just stand still. There's no other requirement than the enemy has to be contesting an objective, which is super valuable. You don't. It's not like on the hunt where the enemy has to be wounded. It's not. It's not. It's conditional, but it's a really common condition.
Yeah.
So I think that's what puts it over the top. I know it's only 1 die, but if your 1 die is a red with surge, like you're feeling pretty good about your life. And like think of it this way too: if you put mission objective on a bounty hunter, and you have like marked targets or something like that, you can put a bounty and a marked target on something, and this starts to trigger.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Brian's over here list building.
I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
You might as well.
I'm tempted. Yeah, I might throw that on my triple commando Yoda list.
Yeah.
Save your aims for lethal.
Yeah.
No, I think there's there's room for that with I mean you get a couple of arcs in your opponent's face, they delete something, you know, and at the end of the round if they're not engaged, because honestly, your opponent doesn't really like to engage arcs. And so arcs are actually a pretty good carrier for spotter uplink. And then you have the mission objective on your commandos. Now,
They bring
now your
commandos
commandos
and arcs. Gross.
now your
Yeah.
commandos are shooting they're re-rolling a die, they're using their lethal, and they're getting sharpshooter. So,
Yeah, it's just
and
really deadly.
the way to stop that is engage your arcs. Ah, shucks. You want to be that
Yeah, oh
little
gee
boy?
whiz. I just got you right where I want you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Speaking of bad choices, units with Speeder X get Strike and Fade. Units with the Speeder X keyword may equip this card even if they do not have a training upgrade slot on their card. After this unit makes an attack action, you may exhaust this card. If you do, this unit makes a move action. So a free exhaustible move for 5 points. Pretty sweet on speeders that want to get out of there before they get shot.
Now this shouldn't let them stack all the way up to. Well, would it? They can already. Can they? They can't 3 move with it. No, because they have to do an attack anyways to trigger
Correct.
it. Okay. So we're not getting to 4 moves with speeders.
No,
we're
not.
3 moves.
We're doing
and
3 moves and an attack. Yeah.
Or 2 and an aim attack. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
I mean, I'm probably going to hate
really...
playing against it if stuff doesn't stick around for me to kill it.
Now here's a question: does this stack with Overrun?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
What do you mean stack with Overrun?
So if I
Does
make
it
a move
trigger
action
Overrun?
using,
Yeah.
if I make a move action with this card, would it trigger Overrun?
Oh, absolutely.
So I could Overrun multiple times with this card.
Well, you already can, right?
Yeah, but like I'm thinking of just like
you could move attack. You could move Overrun, attack, move Overrun, right?
Right, exactly. So I could get my double Overrun off on a swoop.
Yeah. Oh, but you can. But swoops are a little bit unique because you can compulse, move, overrun, attack, move, overrun.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The range on that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way for you to like walk in or to just zoom in and get all of your attacks off at the same
And,
time.
yep. Make sure you get all 10 dice going.
Isn't the overrun
Yep.
considered an attack?
I don't think so. Or is
I
it?
don't know.
It's a great question.
Let's say is
It
overrun.
says attack action.
Okay.
Is overrun an attack action?
Overrun is an attack, but it is not an attack action.
Okay. There you go.
That's my understanding.
So then, land speeders with wedge. This is pretty hot.
Okay.
Because wedge will be able to. Because generally, wedges a wedge land speeder likes to have an HQ. And so the mobility of wedge with this is going to be huge. And then your refresh if you got if you're going to recover, then all of a sudden you get
Yeah.
your HQ back, you get this back, you get your free pivot back. Like
Yeah.
it just increase. It's just a lot of mobility for that unit for another 5 points, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, you kind of max out your recover value at the same time, and you get that extra move.
Yeah, yeah.
And that extra move is huge, right? Like,
The extra
not
move is going to be massive particularly for land speeders. I don't think it's going to be that great for air speeders, and the reason why is because it's a lot harder to hide air speeders. Land speeders can hide, and so this is going to be a big deal for land speeders, in my opinion. Depending on the table setup, but for most tables, you can hide land speeder, and you can position it to where it can get a good shot, and this will allow you to hide it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Instead of having to commit to dying soon by going in for the kill, you could get back out.
Yep.
I think another big thing is the economy this gives you. So, yes, it's 5 points, but a free move can put you on a POI.
Mhm.
And so, like, if I no longer have to choose between attacking something to either kill it or suppress it, and then put my unit on the POI.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, you're able to like you don't have to choose anymore. You can get your attack and still move on to the POI with a speeder at max distance, as
Yeah.
long as this is in the tank.
Mm.
It's
So
gross.
there's definitely some play there, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah. Dang.
That's gonna be great to use. I think we're gonna see that. That's gonna be very common in land speeder, air speeder lists. I'm even thinking about putting it on swoops because
Yeah.
it's like I don't have to choose anymore. If
What,
you give me something that makes me not have to make a difficult choice, I'm gonna take it.
how about do you didn't do trusted agent yet, did you?
We
No, I didn't.
we got two more
Let's do
non-force cards here.
yeah. We got strike team leader and trusted agent. Let's do trusted agent. This is really easy, right?
Yeah.
Issue order step of the command phase. You may expend this card. If you do, issue an order to an allied operative.
Here you go, Bad
So we're just
Batch.
kind of moving. Yeah, like Bad Batch. I was thinking Asajj off of Grievous because I immediately would put this in my list with Grievous and Asajj because she could use another 1 pip, or I have order control. Basically, just offloading CZ
Yeah.
initiative onto an empty command slot,
Yeah.
which
It's fantastic.
CIS have plenty of.
This is an easy way to get Op Luke a card. Or like if you want to run Op Luke Han
Oh
and
yeah,
you're worried about Han's 0 pip not and you don't and you really want into the fray with Luke.
Right.
Cool. Take your into the fray.
Mm-hmm.
Put this on Han, you got it. You're fine.
yeah. And you're gonna run Lando for Underworld and Lando has allies of convenience
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
if you really needed allies of convenience, you could take this on Lando as well.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal. Like trusted agent is kind of huge for operative Luke.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't. So there, some of the combos of Lando and Op Luke are good.
Hmm.
I wasn't super excited about how their command cards, their 1 pips, kind of conflict because I really
Right.
I don't like leaving. You serve your master well home. I don't like leaving Corellian Spike home. So they didn't really jive as well as I wanted them to. But this card might it might put me over the edge. I might just make the sacrifice and leave one of those at home because
Yeah.
this it's like putting Corellian Spike out there, and then having this, knowing that Luke can walk away from something that he doesn't want to be next to, and that thing's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty hot, and also giving Luke an order that turn. Like that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it's potent.
Yeah. So.
And then of course you have I Am a Jedi,
Mhm.
and on top of that, so just lots of ways to keep your opponent from you're basically stun locking your opponent at that point.
Yep. Yep. That this card will allow that allow me to consider that combo a little bit more carefully than I had previously.
Yeah. We were talking also about Sabine with Lando as well for the sort of like the immobilize engine that creates.
Oh yeah.
With a new
Because you
card,
get
that lets her get
yeah,
it
with the
back
new with
extra supplies.
yeah, with extra supplies, and with Lando Corellian Spike, and Lando can trusted agent on Sabine. Sabine also gets access to this card called Strike Team Leader, which is a unique upgrade for the whole army. It says during setup, it's operatives only. It's a training slot, but it says during setup, this unit may choose an allied special forces unit with the same faction or affiliation as this unit. And at the start of the activation phase, the chosen unit gains 1 aim token or 1 dodge token. If it is within 2 of this unit, additionally, the chosen unit may provide backup to, and then it's probably supposed to
This
say
unit.
this unit. Yeah, this unit. So it's a way for Sabine and Clan Ren to double up on retinue, effectively.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Tristan loves extra aims. It's a buff to Tristan Ren because he has lethal suppressive.
Buff to
Mhm.
Inferno Squad too.
Yeah, buff to
Oh,
Inferno. They love
They
that.
want that marksman.
Yep,
Yeah.
retinue plus marksman.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's a great way for Magnus to provide. One of my buddies here in Indy, Scott, he's been list building like nonstop this afternoon. Just messaging me nonstop, and he's like, "Dude, this one." He's like, you can make sure that your Magnus can back up like Asajj
Yeah.
yeah,
or Maul."
totally.
And I was like,
Or Maul.
"Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good."
I don't like
gives
that.
you that level of
Let's not do that
Yeah.
one. Let's not. I need Asajj
Hey,
to stay
Magnus.
squishy so that I can not be terrified of her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would put strike team leader on Asajj over offensive push or into the fray, but there's definitely an argument that could be made there if you have the points.
Yeah. I mean, it
And
is an
if
8-point
you're
upgrade. It's a tough
yeah,
upgrade.
if you were running a Magna anyway, then I could see it.
Mhm.
And I might run a Magna because I use Grievous, and Grievous has Entourage Magna, so
You know who'd really benefit from this is someone like Boss,
hmm,
because then you could keep Boss pretty safe while he's just raining down gunfire the whole game.
Who do you pair him with?
yeah.
What special force?
Death Troopers.
Something cheap. I was thinking Death Troopers or I was thinking BXs. Yeah.
BXs, you could do that, yeah.
Yeah, just a naked BX squad.
Yeah, if you run
Or,
CIS and Bosk.
you know what
Or
you could
Bosk and
do?
CIS.
You could have Boss next to a BX strike team
Yeah.
and give him backup.
Yeah.
That's true, because backup doesn't require any cover save or anything.
Yeah.
Hold on. Bosk is not same faction or affiliation, is he?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
It's not going to
Okay.
work on
You
the
have to be a merc.
mercenaries.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That's
okay.
true. Okay. Well, that's
Almost.
Yeah,
probably a
so
good thing.
that's probably a
Probably
good thing, yeah. Where this who this does work on is Gar Saxon. Not that he needed
No.
it. Yeah, Gar Saxon didn't really need this.
I think Gar wants to be a little bit closer anyway.
Yeah, but it does work on him for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Someone was mentioning that you could also use this on Operative Maul with Rook Cast and Shadow Collective.
Yeah.
Because Rook would double up on Retinue then. I'm not sure. I think it's like a thing you can do. I'm not too thrilled with it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I don't know. I just think Magnus are such a great target for this. Getting double retinue just on a
Oh
Magnus
yeah,
just sounds nasty.
I'll take this and play Close the Pocket.
Yeah.
So I get double Retinue
Are there
Magnus.
any
I have
GAR
2 aims.
applications of this? All the other 3 factions have like retinue targets, where it's obvious you want to double up.
Well, you'd have to take Padme, right?
Operative only, yeah, because Bad Batch is the same faction, so you could do it with them. No, they
They
don't.
don't have
They need
they
a
don't have the
slot.
upgrade.
Half of these
They don't have
cards
the
don't need the
slot, yeah.
slot, so I got confused.
Yep.
This one in particular
It's
needs
true.
the slot, yeah.
That is a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So Padme could do it. She would probably put it on an arc.
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Free aim or dodge, yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you put it on R2D2 and make him have backup, follow an arc squad around?
Does he have training?
I don't think he has a
Oh
training
gosh,
slot.
that stupid slot. Yeah, Padme's
Yeah,
the only
he needs
option.
training, yeah. 52-point Padme with
She's
this is then
cheaper.
60.
Now Padme's this. You throw this on her. Now she's the exact same point cost she was before, and now you're getting a free dodge every round or free aim.
Yeah, getting free aims on your arc or on your chosen
Yeah.
special forces.
All right.
Your chosen escort unit to get her to her desired destination.
Right. Okay.
You know who kind of likes this too is Wookiees, because Gar Wookiees can take the free tokens.
They could.
Not that people run Wookiees in Gar anymore unless they're running the Battle
Right.
Force.
I'll be honest. The Battle Force Wookiees with with that speeder with strike and fade on bomber
Fluttercraft.
what are they called, fluttercraft, that are
Yeah,
speed 3, that sounds horrifying.
Yeah.
yeah. But here's the thing: you need to make an attack action to trigger it. So gunner flutters are fine, but bomb flutters don't get that.
Is it not an
Okay,
attack that they're
Yeah.
making?
It's had attack action.
Oh, because they're
An
also
overrun is
overrun. I see.
yeah. So if you can't start it with an overrun, you have to have an alternate weapon.
okay.
So people were saying you have to use the pilot's pistol to start it.
Which,
It's not awful.
but at that point, you're already spending an action to attack instead of to move.
Right, and Fluttercraft have attack run anyway. At least the Battle Force Fluttercraft have attack run.
What's
I
attack
don't
run?
know. I'm looking
That's
it up.
gives you a speed buff.
Yeah, speed 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Increase or
gives you the speed 3 flutter.
decrease.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess with someone practiced with the fluttercraft, that there are some out there that
Well, whatever the case, this upgrade rewards your piloting skill, so
exactly. Yeah.
I'm game for that.
Yeah, and to be frank, it's going to keep your fluttercraft a little bit safer because they'll be able to be further away. And good pilots could do a pretty decent job of that, but not fantastic. And now good pilots will be able to do a great job of that.
Yeah.
And keep their flutters alive a lot longer. I think it's a good upgrade for that. Yeah.
All right, we got the last 3 here. There's 3 force powers we can look at. First is Dark Side Only Terror. When an enemy unit within 2 and an LOS of this unit makes a ranged attack, if that attack did not target this unit and this unit is not engaged, after that attack is resolved, the attacking unit gains 1 suppression token. Someone mentioned Fear and Dead Men.
Yep.
Combining with this card,
I'm
as
not.
long as Vader's not engaged.
I think it's good. I'm not super sold that it's gonna outdo like a saber throw. I think like a Commander Vader, you're gonna want your push, you're gonna want your burst. I'm not sure that this is gonna replace saber throw, but it's definitely in the list of options, which is cool.
Yeah. 6 points for a suppression. Yeah. I don't know. And it would be great on Fear and Deadman turn, but besides that,
But it's not just a suppression. Like it's every time that someone doesn't attack
within 2 of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone that can
Yeah.
and is within 2 and doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. There's been a lot of times where I'm against a full life Vader that's in my face, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna do something else. and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much
Yeah.
use it's gonna get, but I think that there are situations where you could get a lot of use out of it.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and who wants to run into melee with Vader, honestly? Like, no one really wants to run into melee with him
No.
except maybe
But I'll shoot
Asajj.
him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably worth it, right? Like, and I mean, if I shoot a Force user, I'm trying to shoot it with a tank, so this doesn't really apply to a tank
No.
attacking Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of not sold on it.
Me neither. I
That's
think
just how I
I'd
feel
consider
about
it
it.
more at 4 points, I think.
Yeah, 6 is a little high to
Yeah.
me.
It's weird that 2 points makes the difference, but it does feel like a big difference.
It does.
Yeah, it really
Isn't
can
it
be.
weird?
Well, those
Yeah,
2
it's
points.
just 2.
Well, those two.
2 out of
I find
1,000.
myself. I know, but I find myself, building lists where it's like, man, I wish I had 2 points
Yeah.
because then I could fit another E5S or something.
Not
So those
wrong.
2 points really matter.
Yeah.
What's our light side
All right.
equivalent that we got?
And we get this thing called Tranquility for 10 points. And it says after an allied unit within 2 rallies, but before its make action step, you may exhaust this card. If you do, roll a number of white defense dice equal to this unit's courage. For each block and surge result, this unit and the allied unit remove 1 suppression token. When you would exhaust this card, you may instead expend it. If you do, roll red defense dice instead of white defense
So I
dice.
didn't catch that both of you remove suppression.
Correct.
That's a little bit better. 10 points feels steep still, but
So not only do you both remove suppression, you also get to see how much that unit rallied before you decide to use this force power.
right.
So like let's say your Han is really suppressed. Okay, this is just an example out of context, but let's say Han is really suppressed and he fails his rally. Suddenly you can tranquility him with reds on an expend. So he gets you basically select him and he gets indomitable
Yeah,
at the level of your courage value.
right.
So it's just kind of like a failsafe if your rally sucks or if you don't have a lot of suppression management.
It does help. You could make it even if even if everyone's only shooting your force user, right? You could just use it as a secondary rally for your force user. Like
Right,
they
because you could
yeah,
pick a
this rebel trooper, they did their rally step and didn't have to roll anything. I'm going to trigger it now because Luke has 3 suppression and I want to try and roll it off before his turn. Right.
exactly.
So you get a
Exactly.
second shot at like it's cool, but 10 points in the force slot.
Yeah, 10 points for an extra rally step over, say, like burst of speed.
Yeah, and it's like it's an exhaust.
That's
It's
a tough
Master
comparison,
of the
though.
Force.
I could see it with as a decent option for like a Commander Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Commander Luke's cheap. He often rolls with Han. And Han loves his reckless diversion. And so I think it's a I don't know if it's going to replace burst of speed because burst of speed is just so good. But
Yeah.
it at least opens up the conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this one go down in the future, but I think it definitely has its uses.
Yeah, like I'm still not sure I would take it if it was 5 points, just because the slot is so coveted.
The slot is coveted.
Where I see this best is probably Yoda,
Mm,
because you're rolling 4 defense dice and they could be red. But on average, it's kind of worse than lead by example, isn't it? I guess though the timing is really crucial because it's during the target unit's rally step after their rally
yeah,
step.
Yeah,
So the timing is really critical. That's
you
where
could
it's
do both,
strongest. Is that
right?
right?
Lead
You
by
could lead
example
by
is
example,
command.
and you could right.
So in the support version of Yoda, that's not maybe he's not burst of speeding, he's not force pushing, he's barriering and tranquility and lead by example. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe.
He's just like a full on
Yeah,
support
he
engine.
guidances every round and gets both those back
Yeah,
and removes a ton
yeah.
of
yeah.
suppression.
Tranquility
He's
barrier.
cheaper
Yeah,
now, so it doesn't feel as bad. I don't know.
Right, and he's maybe not going nuts with the one pip. You know, he's not diving necessarily until the end of the game.
You know, we may see this the customizable Jedi for Gar.
Mm,
That's right.
You may be able to max out like a support Jedi, and this could slot right in for that guy. You know, where you don't
yeah,
really feel like you have to have push. You don't really feel like you need burst. If there's some really good tech for a support Jedi, this would be a good way to slot that in there.
right. I keep thinking of the moments where like a rally step would break the game, and then like this would trigger, and suddenly, oh, 10 points that I removed the suppression that prevented me from moving twice. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's, but I can always think of like those game saving edge cases, right? Like that's not something that's a
They're pretty
great
niche.
argument, but it's an
It's
argument
tough to bring
Yeah.
a 10-point force slot for edge cases.
for an edge case. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Speaking of edge case 10.4 slot, we got the next one, Clairvoyance.
Yeah, clairvoyance. When this unit attacks or defends, it may expend this card at the start of the modify attack dice or modify defense dice step. If it does, it re-rolls all of its attack or defense dice and then converts any surges. The modified attack or defense roll cannot be further modified. So that's pretty interesting. It's basically like a mini Ceresu mastery,
Yeah.
but it gives you surge conversion, which you don't get in melee if you don't have deflect. Because it says then converts any surges. Is that according to the defense chart?
That's a good point. I had assumed it meant it was converting
Yeah.
them to hits, but it doesn't say that. It just says converts them. So it
Yeah.
should
So
be
it depends
according to their chart. It's converting.
according to their chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
if you're using it as defense and you're getting hit by a ranged attack with your Jedi, and as long as the attack doesn't have high velocity, then you'll be able to convert surges to extra defense. And if you're doing it when your Jedi has surge crit, then you'll be able to convert the surges to hits or to crits, right? I think
Okay.
I think that's pretty.
So it's just a
So
mulligan. Just
it's a
Luke is
mulligan.
not
yeah,
supposed to roll 1 out of 8 here. Let's retry that.
yeah. It's a once per game mulligan. Yeah,
I don't
that seems strong.
I like it. I like it for
Yeah,
units that have a lot of like a big dice pool. Like honestly, like this is probably great for Asajj.
Gosh.
Because Asajj has a giant dice pool. I think it's probably great for Luke. I'm not sure I can replace one of Luke's other slots. Um, to be honest, actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I think I'd have to play around with it. I think if I'm going to play
yeah.
it with Op Luke, I would replace because I don't. I've got to keep push, and I really love Mind Trick. I think I would play carefully and see if this could replace Burst.
Why do you love Mind Trick on
Or
Luke so much?
why?
Yeah.
Because I like removing my opponent's ability to score
But
POIs.
like one time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Just wondering.
yeah, and he always on when I play I Am a Jedi, I always move and recover,
Oh, okay.
and so I get to use it a couple times a game. And there's been some times where I get into a position where I'm far enough away from stuff that I don't get a push round two, um, because my opponent's played more
But you
carefully,
could
so I
reach
mind
Mind
trick,
Trick.
and so,
Yeah.
sometimes I mind trick three times. It depends on the
All right.
situation, but
Just wondered.
I'd have to play around with it. I think I could see it replacing mind trick. That would be actually you're probably right.
It
It probably should replace mind
it
trick.
it lost a lot of value when Serve Your Master Well got the big nerf, and like now you can Mind Trick them to give them suppression to be able to give them more suppression. Like that's not what
Which
I.
Yeah,
Eh,
I love that. I
yeah.
love because you're panicking a unit now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I think that's a big
I'll
difference.
just push him or kill him.
Well,
So
that's the good part is you push another unit, you
Yeah,
kill another unit, and you
yeah,
panic a unit.
yeah.
so I play a different game where re-rolling your dice pool like this is fairly strong, but sometimes you just come out worse. So I keep thinking of a moment where like I'll expend clairvoyance and then roll worse than I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's gonna be moments where clairvoyance completely
But here's
whiffs.
this is after you see it, right? So if this
Yeah,
attack is
so
killing Luke, might as well
yeah,
re-roll
Might
it.
as well.
might as well. Yeah, get out of jail
Yeah,
free card.
attempt to get out
Absolutely.
of jail, like before
Yeah,
it's
an
too
attempt to
late.
get out of jail free. Yeah,
And to be honest, guys, like I think Luke's kind of uniquely suited for clairvoyance because how many times have you Son of Skywalkered and not got the hits that you wanted to get?
Almost every time.
almost every single
80% of
time.
the
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
In my
So
head, that's
yeah.
supposed to get 6 or 7 hits each attack, but it's black dice with
no.
surge. But it's in my head, all right. I've swung it enough, I know, but
So
in here
but
it's
say
6 or 7. Here it's like no.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so you go up on a Son of Skywalker shot, and you roll 2 hits, and you're just like, cool, all right, spend clairvoyance. Oh, look, I got 5. That's what I was wanting the first time.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're that's what you should be averaging. And so
Yeah.
I think using this because the chances of having 2 really poor rolls in a row is like way worse than having one
Right.
roll, one
Right. It's
poor
much.
roll.
Right.
It's much lower. Yeah.
Way lower, right? And so I don't know. I think this is a great card for Luke.
I also like this on Dooku a little bit.
Um,
Just. I know it's tough. His 4 slots are so competitive right now.
I think so. But to be
Yeah.
honest, the amount of times I've seen my good buddy Trent roll 3 out of 5 on his Dooku attack when he
That's
really needs
true.
to kill something, that stings a bit.
But Dooku has a some aim economy. Like that happens. This is really good on units that have 0 aim economy, like Luke.
Yeah,
Luke has pretty much 0 aim economy. He has nothing there.
right.
And so and also on top of that, this also says it can't be further modified.
Yeah.
So like if I tried to do this on Asajj, I couldn't Jarkai after clairvoyancing.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so not great on
So
Asajj.
yeah,
Yeah,
not great on Asajj. Yeah, not great on Ahsoka either.
that's true because Ahsoka can modify her dice. So this is really uniquely suited for Son of Skywalker because you can use this on one, and then you can on the next attack you can use your aim.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's pretty hot.
Yeah, you aim once and then you clairvoyance the other one
Yeah,
if you need to.
yeah,
And if you don't, you have it for defense when you inevitably flub your defense roll.
right, right.
Yeah,
Which happens on Full of Surprises every
Oh
time.
my gosh,
yeah,
why?
exactly.
Why do they all find the blank sides every time?
No, no.
I'll be taking
Every
Right?
wounds from like one hit. I'm just like 5 dice. 5.
search the block. What is happening?
There's so many sides there that have paint. Where are they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real though.
So I think so. I think you're right, John. I think this replaces Mind Trick for Luke. I think you're right.
Like you do have a good point. Like panic. I'm downplaying the panic more than it deserves. I'm just yeah.
Yeah.
I love mind
I
trick on
like.
Yoda because like I'm playing Yoda to bullet in there and like he's mind tricking all the time and I'm panicking units for maybe like
Yeah.
3 or 4 units every game.
Yeah, and I would agree that this is worth 2 Mind Tricks a game. I would agree with that. So, yep.
It
Yeah,
is more expensive.
I think we found the what do you call it? I'm having a thought train crash. We found the I can't think of the name. Fountain of Youth. I don't know what you call it. The unique situation where this is
Yeah.
particularly good.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a name for that. I
It's
can't remember
niche.
it. Yeah, the niche. There you go. We found the niche.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
good niche.
Maybe Maul has use for it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of users with bad offense dice. He's got a bunch of whites.
Yeah, his aim economy isn't amazing.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, Maul's a bit tough because you're most of the time you're looking at
It's a
white
regular.
dice that are negative.
Yeah.
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 As opposed to Luke surging black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surging black and 7 dice, maybe even 8 dice from
Mm-hmm.
Luke.
Maybe you have tenacity if you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm a wild man.
You
I
put
do
tenacity on Luke.
tenacity if I have aim generation. I like tenacity if I have double bust because Luke stays safe
Yeah.
and then he's got aimed up and then he just deletes stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I
Yeah.
like it because without the double bust, it's harder to keep Luke safe and he needs to enter the fray.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frey is like I find Frey so I had
Melee's just
set,
scarier now.
we might segue just a brief to talk about Indie Open Week. We might go into greater detail when we have Joe back on, but I just wanted to say that my Into the Fray was working overtime in Indy. It was like I think I generated about 8 surges a game off of Into the Fray
Okay.
Dang.
because I had Grievous and Asajj in my opponent's face by round 2 usually. And
Yeah.
so the frequency of it was really high, and it really paid off. Like we're talking just about every defense roll, I have at least the 1 surge to spend, and maybe I got lucky. I don't know, but I just think that having even 1 surge token on your first 6 dice is basically the equivalent of surge to block. So
Yeah.
and for 4 points,
Yeah.
like seems a really good deal to me.
Yeah, it's way good.
So
Yeah.
Again, this is why you take Frey on Luke most of the time.
Right.
And on every buddy that can benefit from it. Even on Grievous, I take it over up close and personal because it's half the cost of up close and personal.
Mm.
That might be a mistake, but I don't know. Frey
Grievous has
worked
block,
well enough for
right?
me. Yeah, Grievous
Yeah,
is
He could
blocked, so
cheat.
you could do better. Yeah, I like prepared supplies on Grievous
Disgusting.
for that reason.
It's
Yeah.
gross. Yeah, it's
Grievous is dirty, and he has Magnus backup. So you shoot him at range, he can guardian, he can block. It's really hard to get him down.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I put a medic behind him because
That's
I'm a jerk like that.
that's great though. I like that.
Speaking of points changes, right? The medic, cis medic, unscathed. We're still rocking it. Let's
Can
go.
someone explain the Sysmetic to me? Why cheaper?
I don't know. I guess there's fewer targets, but it's so good.
It is just as good as any other medic. If like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're healing your heroes. Like that's what you use other medics for.
Yep.
It's 14. It probably shouldn't be.
14?
Yeah.
It's
Only
14
14.
with perfect order
Deep
control
breaths.
from Kalani.
So
This
John,
is fine.
let me tell you my
This is
let me
fine.
tell you my Indie Open list.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's
So
go.
it was Lando with improvised orders, Han with underworld connections, double sleepers with their astromech, a super slinger squad, and 3 massive fleets with shotguns. 2 of them had impact grenades. 1 of them
3?
had nothing.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then 2 buses that were naked, nothing on them. 13x.
Okay.
Oh, and three naked rebel troopers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we went to town.
Yeah.
We went through.
Gross, dude.
We went 6-0 with it.
Oh man.
Yeah. Through
Oh,
Trent.
man. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Did
good.
you have any specific
Got-
trouble against anything?
Trentless was the most challenging for sure. But I didn't even. So to be honest, David, I didn't even play Reckless Diversion against Trent. Did you know that?
Really?
There was no good opportunity for it.
Yeah.
He had
I could see that.
the way the buildings were set up in that table, I had nothing that could protect my stuff long enough to matter. And I knew the turn that I wanted to play Reckless Diversion was turn 2, and I played Change of Plans, and he didn't play the card that I wanted him to play. he didn't play the card that gives his geos like the speed 3. Because I wanted to change that, and because I didn't want him to speed 3, and or was it to the free jump 3? I didn't want them to freely jump into my Ewok slingers that had the face up token, and him just negate it anyway. And so I
Right.
was like, okay, I'll use change of plans for the order control because it's pretty good order control. But it was the super fleets with backed up behind some buses. Solid. There was I had 0 of my games did I lose both buses.
Really? They were just too preoccupied.
Yeah. So the thing is that if I usually the bus would die round 1, or the beginning of round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because round 2 they couldn't shoot at it because I have face ups on Han and Ewok slingers.
Okay.
And the slingers are with the appropriate terrain,
Or a
have
bus.
made it so where, or a bus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the slinger, I made it so that the slingers you could only see one of them,
Right.
in almost every case except against Trent, which I couldn't do it.
Right.
I probably could have set it up better, but he had the lanes covered really well. He did really well.
Well, you could use
And
your
so
bus to create that terrain, can't you?
you can, except I needed. We were playing shifting, and I couldn't have. I needed stuff over
Yeah.
on one side as
That's
well,
fair.
and so
Right.
and the bus ended up saving the game at the end anyway because he was able to score two POIs at the end of the game. And so yeah, and it was solid. It was just so many dice, double sleeper, triple mega fleet, just going in with impunity on that reckless turn and just causing problems.
How many is that? 60, 72, 84 dice across 5 squads.
Yep.
A lot of dice.
Compacted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 shots.
Yep. And the fleets
Jeez.
just getting into melee, and then once they're in melee, if I went first with the fleet and they didn't kill the thing that they're in melee with, then Lando would just move up and just put a standby on those guys.
The standby on them
standby.
is so gross.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have played you, Brian, because I don't think that I'm not saying that I would have won, but I would have loved to see the interactions.
Yeah.
Between like my AAT and your buses, for example,
Yeah.
or like Asajj with demoralize, because she has demoralize on her divulge.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try to guide and standby with Lando, she has demoralize to kill it.
Yeah.
No,
To be
so
honest,
she's got some tricks, you know.
she does. Most of the time, I didn't guidance standbys. Most of the time, my guidance moves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because what I was saying earlier is when we were talking about like forcing your opponent to back up a little bit because they're worried about
Mhm.
what you could do. So both buses would come out and have sleepers with face ups right behind them.
Right.
I would move a bus up. I would move forward with I would come out of the bus moving forward, and then the bus would cover up the sleepers. So the sleepers are really far up the table with a face up, and so they're like, okay, I can kill the bus, but then I have to deal with what's going to be behind it, and I'm running all my fleets up and everything's nothing. They can't shoot at anything other than buses,
Right.
and so they played super safe because they had to stay range like 2.5 away from the bus unless they wanted to eat a sleeper shot at the end of the round.
Right.
Um,
Because the sleeper would just come out and eat whatever was there.
yeah, yeah, and the sleeper already had a dodge because when they get out of the bus,
Yeah.
they got a dodge
So dumb.
from the POI, and then they walk through the bus, they get another dodge, and so if I could keep them in heavy cover, then I wasn't afraid to let them eat a shot as long as they're taking a big shot, right? And so
Right.
that didn't bother me. And so my opponents played back really really far back every single game, and so I was always up by round 2. I was always up on POIs,
Which gave
on
the
VPs.
fleets plenty of time to move up and be extra threats.
Exactly.
You're afraid of the
Exactly.
sleepers, but the fleets aren't even there yet.
Right. And then my opponents that were really smart played ranges really well.
Mhm.
But the ranges that you play really well don't matter when Lando can guidance a move, or when they can move off of a
Standby.
what's his one step
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, they get the free speed one off one step ahead.
Yeah, and
Super
so
hard to plan for.
Oh,
you just can't
yeah.
plan for it. And so you're like, okay, and there's multiple times where I'm just like, all right, my opponent played this card, they played a 2-pip. I'll go ahead and I'll play Lando's 1-pip, or I'll play whatever card I want, and then see what they got, and like, okay, yeah, I'll play Lando's his ace up his sleeve, give myself a 1-pip, order a fleet, go first with the fleet. Like, and it's just like us. There's just so many things that you could do. Now you can't. I did learn the first time I ever played Lando. I was able to get one step ahead perfect, and it felt like $1 million. Across 6 games, you can't do that. You can't rely on that one step ahead on like this unit. Like I was thinking it was going to be broken where you could pop out sleepers, take a shot at the end of the round, and then be able to move them back behind cover with one step ahead. But you can't guarantee that you're
It's so hard to
get that
predict.
option. But
Yeah, really.
what you can do is you can take advantage of pretty much anything when it works.
Yeah.
One step ahead with like people were playing ranges for Corellian Spike pretty well. But then you one step ahead Lando, and you're like, oh, now I'm in range 1. I've got a 1-pip. I'll spike you. You're stuck. And it's just like, there is the fact that you can manipulate with Lando and Han, you can manipulate your cards twice in a 5-round game is, whoa,
Yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're gonna have to do like a. Or Brian, you and I, or maybe you too, John. We could do like an aside video just on Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not part of like the regular Overa here, but we could totally work that out at some point. But I'd love to like pick that apart and see like what the combos are.
Yeah. And
That sounds really interesting to Rebel players who want to get into Lando, and also for the rest of us who are like, how do we fight against this? What can men do against such reckless card manipulation?
Corellian Spike, I think, is easy enough because it's not just the 6-inch threat. Like, he can always use the one step ahead because you could target himself or an ally. So you just need to increase that bubble to 10 inches. Like, you stay away from him plus speed 1 and range 1.
You're making me want to play
no,
double A.
it's range
Ryan.
2, John.
Is it range 2?
It's range 2.
All right, so then 16 inches away.
Yeah, 16 inches.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
It's really hard to do and still can be competitive on POI. Yeah.
It's so, but it wasn't like, as I looked through my games, I realized like there were Lando plays that I didn't do that were better than what I chose to do. And it's just like, I love having pieces like that and be like, oh, okay, in this situation, this is what I did and it worked out, which is okay, but this would have been better. And it's just like when you get a game piece that allows you those kinds of options and to be able to see like that kind of stuff. That's what Yoda
I
did
was
for my brain.
waiting to say it. Like, this is Rebels Yoda.
Like those things are so good. I love that kind of a unit, and so I'm glad that we got one.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Well, we've been going for a while now, and I think we're probably going to wrap up this episode on that positive note. And I just want to say thanks, John, for being here. I also want to say thank you to our audience. We hit 500 subscribers on the YouTube, so we're rocking the partner program now. So if you want to support us on YouTube, you can. But we always appreciate just anyone listening, watching, etc. That's all I'm going to ask. So I thought I had some other news. Oh yeah, Iron Weld is coming up. This tournament in Boston, and I'm going to be streaming Iron Weld.
Nice.
So that's going to be the weekend of July 12th. I'll be in Boston with all my gear. I'll be up there streaming. So that's the next big event that's being streamed by Winter Moon. And then of course, if you haven't checked out the Substack, wintermoonwargaming.substack.com, and our YouTube channel at Winter Moon Wargaming. And hopefully next episode we'll get Joe in here. We'll talk a little bit more about Indie Open, maybe some we'll go back to our secondary series that we've been covering the points updates. Exciting. We have a new sort of a vista of list building to work with and some new upgrades. And pretty soon here, we're going to be interviewing Will Schick. At least I don't know if Will Pagani will be here too, but we'll have them on our air pretty soon here to talk to them about the changes and some of those updates and pick their brains a little bit. So that's going to be fun. So anyhow, folks, thank you so much for watching. This has been Winter Moon Wargaming. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
John, Bushfacts, Bushman.
And we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.